What do you get when you blend together the overall anti-establishment vibe of Fight Club, the pop culture of the late 90s, and one of the most influential game publishers in history? Jet Set Radio, or Jet Grind Radio for those of us who get the better box art. Released by Sega in 2000, it's a third-person action game that has become a cult classic for its first-of-its-kind cel-shaded graphics, hip-hop inspired soundtrack, and absolute passion for pop culture. To such a degree that when it's given free rein by Sega after making Panzer Dragoon, the team at what is now Smilebit started with the visual style before developing the gameplay. Not only was it development against the grain, Jet Set Radio itself is about a group of punks who slowly spread their influence throughout the city and oppose the increasingly militaristic police force, which has become more and more prescient as the game ages, and a demon record-wielding mafia boss. You roller skate around the levels, tagging walls, avoiding police, and putting your name over whatever other gang was there first. The choice was made to have the main Rudy gang that we play as, the GGs, use roller skates instead of skateboards as in earlier concepts, because they wanted to keep the legs moving, and move forward Jet Set Radio did. It was inspired by the pop culture of the time, the punk movement, counterculture, and creativity itself. It's the soul of the game, and that soul is bright. The use of cel shading elevates the chunky Sega Dreamcast models into something that still looks good on a modern 4K screen, but more importantly carries something fundamental to the game. It allows the devs to emphasize what was important with thick lines and use thinner lines for what they thought wasn't so important. Jet Set Radio is a distillation of the late 90s and early 2000s, with its love for graffiti, extreme sports, and the best music in all of gaming. If the visuals are the soul of Jet Set Radio, then the music is the heart, keeping the rhythm of the game going and keeping the style alive. Composed mostly by Hideki Naganuma, the soundtrack is jazzy, funky, and full of samples. Its mishmash of hip-hop, rock, dance, and electronic music reflected the visuals of the game perfectly. Music wasn't just something that Jet Set Radio added in post-production, it was integral to the game. All characters wore radios at all times, which were broadcasting
Tokyo's very own #1 pirate power station, Jet Set Radio!
Music was fundamental to Jet Set Radio, just like its visuals, graffiti, and style, but its gameplay falls on the wayside because of this, with automatic tricks, grinds, and a camera that definitely shows its age. You don't really play Jet Set Radio for any of that, and what captured the hearts and imaginations of many gamers, including myself, is the presentation and passion that flows so clearly out of all of these parts. The game got a more grown-up sequel, influenced more by rock and with a sharper edge, and was then summarily abandoned by Sega after that. But passion like this doesn't stop here, with Jet Set Radio becoming a cult classic and inspiring other games like Sunset Overdrive and Hubber, many fan games, remakes that are multiplayer capable, and fan art contests. The music of Jet Set Radio is starting to create its own genre, and a Dutch game studio, Team Reptile, has taken it upon themselves to create a spiritual successor. When something is clearly made with this much joy and passion, even when left without support for those who made it for over 20 years, it still leaves a mark on those who do play it. It's been 2 decades, but I'm thrilled to see the return of even just the spirit of Jet Set Radio.